So far, you have tried many things to learn English, but if you still can't speak it, the problem isn't with you. You've always memorized words, studied grammar, or watched videos, but no one showed you how to learn English. In this video, I'll explain step by step how you can make your English fluent, starting from the basics rather than the top, as if you were building a house. If you're asking yourself where to start, you'll find the answer to that question at the end of this video, so like the video and watch it all the way through. Hello everyone, friends. I'm MR, English teacher. Welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'll explain how you can progress from beginner level to fluency in English. If you are learning English and wondering where to start, whether to focus on grammar, vocabulary, reading, or just try to speak directly, then this video is perfect for you. In this video, I explain step by step what you need to do and what you need to avoid. I present it to you as a roadmap, using examples like building a house. In the rest of the video, you'll learn how to start learning English from the ground up, how to learn the walls, how to complete that building, and how to reach the roof in the best way possible. So if you're ready, grab your coffee, sit back, and let's get into the video. 1. Foundation. Build a strong foundation. Have you ever wondered how the house we live in stays standing? Of course, it needs to have a solid foundation. It's the same in English. If your foundation isn't solid, nothing you build on top of it will last. That's why you shouldn't start learning from the top down. You should start from the bottom up. To do this, you should begin by learning what I call survival English. So what is that? Let me explain briefly. You should start by learning simple, everyday expressions in English. For example, I want water, please. Where is the station? You should learn everyday expressions like these. You don't need to have perfect long sentences or grammar. You just need to know the basic patterns I mentioned. At least that will be enough to keep you alive. Research shows that if you want to learn a language, you should learn the 500 to 1,000 most commonly used words in that language and practice using them. This will get you to a level where you can manage in everyday life. Don't get me wrong, learning these 500 to 1,000 words won't make you a fluent speaker, but it will at least give you enough knowledge to survive or communicate. The goal during this period is not to speak quickly or learn things quickly. Our aim is to learn enough English phrases to help us when we go to the market and need assistance with our shopping, or to know how to ask someone the time when we need to. So how can we practice this? We need to work repeatedly on every English phrase or English word we learn. We should constantly listen to the same simple dialogues, and we should apply the shadowing technique by repeating the words or phrases we learn aloud. And most importantly, no matter how many mistakes we make, we must never give up, because the mistakes we make are what make us who we are and contribute most to our development. 2. Structure. Build the walls. Yes, we have laid the foundations for our building. Now it is time to build the walls. These walls are the most important structures that will hold our house up and enable us to reach the roof. In English, our vocabulary, basic grammar, and ability to form longer sentences will play an important role at this stage. At this point, we can start using tenses such as I went to the market yesterday and I will go tomorrow, rather than just I go to the market. At this point, the balance between input, listening, reading, and output, speaking, writing, is very important. Because if you listen a lot, you will understand, but you may not be able to speak. If you only speak, your vocabulary may remain limited. At this point, you need to progress in a balanced way. For example, listen to podcasts, read short texts, repeat what you hear or read 5 times, take notes somewhere, or try to explain it to whoever is with you. because what you learn shouldn't just stay in the air. In this step, perhaps the most important thing you need to do is practice the shadowing technique. You can go to my channel for detailed videos about the shadowing technique and watch my videos on it. I will also leave a link for you in the cards section. So let me briefly explain the shadowing technique here as well. Shadowing technique. We listen to any audio recording. Then, using the repetition method, you say something yourself and imitate it. The important thing here is for you to be patient, because the walls of your house won't be completed or raised in a single day. You'll need to build those walls bit by bit every day and try again and again. 3. Development. Expand the rooms and use. Yes, we have now reached the next stage. Congratulations. In this stage, we will expand the walls of our house and the rooms, and we will use them. We have our walls now, so we will fill them, meaning we will fill our rooms. When we think about this in English, we will increase our use of the English expressions and patterns we have learned, and we will do these things by learning new things. For example, we will elaborate on topics related to work rather than daily life or news. If you have followed the previous steps to the letter, you have already passed the 1,000-word level. From this point on, we will aim to build on that and reach the 5,000 to 8,000 word range. So how will we learn these words, i.e. learn the patterns? The answer to this question will come from everyday life. That is, the novels you read, the podcasts you listen to, real conversations, television news. All of these are resources that will boost your English vocabulary. When you reach this stage, your danger will no longer be bound by rules. It will become an automatic reflex and fall into place naturally. You will speak directly without thinking about how to use the word in a given context. Of course, there will be mistakes, and that's perfectly fine, because mistakes will be your best teacher at this stage. 4. Fine workmanship, fluency and pronunciation. Yes, we have reached my favorite stage. At this stage, we will do the fine work of the house. That is, we will embellish the English we have created. So what does this mean? Since we are speaking English at a certain level, we will now try to focus on accent and pronunciation. Our pronunciation, our stress, our intonation are the elements that determine the naturalness of our speech. People who speak English as their native language do these things naturally, so it's not difficult for them, but for us, who have learned English as a second or third language, these are the most difficult parts. At this stage, we will try to learn how words are naturally connected to each other, the drops in words, and how to speak with a natural rhythm. For example, instead of, "What do you want to do?" in a natural flow, "What do you want to do?" Such examples can be given as examples of natural English. As you may have noticed, I haven't said anything like, "Memorize these words," or "Do vocabulary exercises." This is because I am speaking on the assumption that your English level has improved. If you maintain this pace over time, your English and your level will have reached a considerably high level. At this stage, we connect words through experience, not by memorizing them. So what does this mean? It means that during a conversation, if a word you want to say doesn't come to mind at that moment, you can still describe that word using different words and somehow convey its meaning. At this stage, your learning and speaking level becomes permanent. 5. Final stage. Living in English. Yes, we have reached the happy ending. After going through all the stages I described earlier, at this stage, you have now internalized English. You no longer think while speaking English, you don't get stuck, and you no longer think about which word to choose. It's just like taking steps. When you take a step, you don't think about which foot to use, how, when, or in which direction to step, do you? Similarly, at this stage, Your English speaking level will have reached this point. Yes. Before finishing the video, I would like to give you a quick reminder. Don't skip any of the steps and sequences I've mentioned. And don't move on to the next one without completing the previous one. The sequence should be as follows: basics, structure, development, fine work, living. Another important point is to never give up immediately. Keep learning English and practicing consistently. Another point, and the most important one, is to definitely use the shadowing technique in some way, because shadowing is the most natural way to learn English. The more you practice speaking English, the more accustomed you will become to it, and the easier it will be to learn. At this point, it is perfectly normal to experience ups and downs, because mistakes will happen, and these mistakes will show your progress. So don't be afraid or embarrassed, and you need to do all the steps I've mentioned every single day, even if only a little. This routine, along with these steps, and the little women, are the most important things to help you achieve victory and reach your goal. Yes, friends, we have come to the end of another video. I am Mr. English Teacher. I hope this video has been useful to you. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and write an English word in the comments. Don't forget, there are many more useful podcast videos like this one on my channel. I invite you to visit my channel to access my other videos. I love you all. Take care of yourselves until we meet again in the next video. Goodbye.